Hi everyone, I'm Rich Tyner. Welcome into the Corley Quarterly presented by First Bank. I'm joined by Belmont Director of Athletics, Scott Corley. Scott, it's good to be sitting next to you, face to face, in this fabulous facility.
Exactly, it is. It's good to get some sense of normalcy back and to do things in person. And obviously, we're so proud of this beautiful facility. So yeah, this is great.
We're going to talk some more about this facility, but I think a good place to start is just for us to have the chance to say thank you to the people that make this possible.
Well, 100%. I mean, you know, this year was unprecedented. We all know that. And I just want to first start by thanking our student athletes, our coaches, and our staffs for really, managing through these challenging times. And I feel like we were the gold standard in a lot of ways within the OVC and just how we approach this. And it's really a testament to everyone involved. The dedication and commitment that it took to get through this season was really difficult. And our coaches and players accepted the challenge and did a great job with it. So I certainly want to start there. I want to start with our sponsors for sticking with us. I mean, with such a weird abbreviated season and limited crowds, but our sponsors stuck with us, and can't be more thankful for them and for all they do to support Belmont athletics. And the same goes out to our donors. Our fundraising efforts this year were a historic high, and that's a testament to the people that believe in what we're doing, even with all the stuff that was going on with COVID. So special thanks to just everyone for helping us have a great season.
And it was a great season. That's one of the crazy things about this. The Belmont Bruins didn't just survive through this COVID year. They really thrived. Let's start with the classroom. Man.
It's incredible to think what our student athletes did with the GPA, second highest ever in Division I. Just given, again, we had every sport playing in the spring. We had kids still doing remote learning, all those things in the time commitments that it took for our student athletes to get it done on the field, but most importantly in the classroom. It's incredible. And it's we almost take it for granted and we come to expect it with our student athletes, but kudos to them.
I'm not sure just how much people are aware of the change this year, moving all the sports to spring. We didn't miss any sports. They just all got all the fall sports, and part of winter sports got moved to spring. That's a lot on everyone, beginning with you and the staff.
Well, that's certainly where it hits the most. I mean, the game day staff and the crews that help us provide our student athletes that good Division I game experience. I mean, that's a lot to put on them. There were many weeks where, multiple events going on, either on the same day or in consecutive days. And so, that took a toll at times. It was a little bit of an endurance test. But for me as an AD who loves watching our student athletes compete, I was in heaven in a lot of ways. But because I wasn't lacking for things to watch or go watch. And so, I will say we don't want to do it again. Because some of our fall sports had a more condensed season than they would like. But still, we learned some lessons from it, and we learned that we can manage a lot of different events going on at the same time.
And yet, with all that chaos, boy, the Belmont Bruins were incredibly successful.
No doubt. I mean, what they accomplished on the field, to finish second in the Commissioner's Cup, obviously we want to win it, but to come in second with our second highest point total, and that's the All Sports Trophy. For those that don't know, we call it the Commissioner Cup. Was really awesome and fun. Women's basketball, what a great season, winning the OVC tournament, winning that first NCAA championship game. Men's tennis, winning the OVC championship for the first time, getting to play in Oxford and really played, representing themselves well against Ole Miss in that first round match. We had several individuals in track and field that went on and did some amazing things, qualifying for regionals, 5 athletes to do that. Women's track and field, second place in the OVC. Just a couple years ago, we were in 10th place. So I'm so proud and so excited, and it energizes me going forward to think if we can do that in a real, unique, challenging year, when we get back to more normal, normal rhythm, I think our coaches and student athletes, I know they're ready to go.
And being an old frustrated golfer, terrible golfer. I got a kick out of watching Evan.
Well, that's a good one. Evan was phenomenal this year. What a fun, the way he was able to qualify for the NCAA tournament. I was so glad I was there. He had to hit a 13, 14-foot birdie putt, and then just to force the UT Martin golfer to miss his putt. And then the way he played, particularly that last round in the NCAA tournament over at the golf club, it was great. And I mean, he's such a great representative, and he really epitomizes everything about Belmont student athlete.
Well, we started off by talking about how nice it was to be together in person, face-to-face, doing this. We mentioned this fabulous facility, and this has to be one of the highlights of this year for you.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is just something, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I mean, we're so proud to show this off. We're touring people through this as much as we can. Summer camps have started. It's just good to get it open. It was such a special day with the ribbon cutting, and Dan Crockett, what he did to support this project. His name is on the building, and Dan's a really good friend of mine way back 40 years ago when he was a catcher and I was a pitcher on the same team. And so that day was so special to recognize and thank a lot of people that made this happen. And I said it that day, and I'll say it again. I mean, every student athlete, every coach, every staff, faculty, rep, whatever it is, had a part in making this building a reality. And what this building really gets me excited about, it allows us to dream big. It allows us to dream big. And, there is no reason, when we have this type of facility in Nashville, an education you can get from Belmont University, the winning programs that we already have that are utilizing this building, why we can't dream big, and the sky's the limit.
So many former administrators, athletics directors were here for that day. Betty Wiseman was here for that day. Mike Strickland was here for that day. Just name a few. Got a chance to see Ian and Dylan. Ian Clark and Dylan Windler were both here for that day.
That's what I meant. It was just a special day to see people like that, to see longtime donors, longtime supporters. I mean, Ron Bargatze's of the world. I mean, it was kind of the Mount Rushmore of Belmont athletics were here, and to see them have so much pride and to hear them talk about what that day meant to them and the realization of probably dreams that they had, that they didn't get a chance to experience under their watch. And that's where I just feel so blessed. I mean, to be able to open this facility and have a small part of it, it just meant the world to me.
And yet, people were here that perhaps didn't get a chance to enjoy a place like this, and yet not one comment of complaint about that. It was all positive, looking toward the future and what this is going to do to move Belmont forward.
Well, that's what's great about our people that support Belmont athletics. I mean, I tell people we're a low ego environment, and we're surrounded by people who feel the same way, and they're not going to complain. They just want what's best for Belmont athletics, and they know how important this building is and what it means to the future of our athletic department.
Speaking of the future of the athletics department, okay, so COVID's starting to look like it's in the rearview mirror. So now it's time to just kind of take the foot off the gas and coast and rest for a while, right?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe not.
Yeah, of course. No, if anything, there's a lot to be re-energized about. I mean, I think I've said it. I mean, this past 14 months was tough. It was challenging. A lot of us were very tired. But when you open a building like this, when you have a new president coming into the university, and the time I've gotten to spend with Dr. Jones and how he values athletics similarly to Dr. Fisher, I mean, that gets me so excited and so ready to get back going. And really the fun part is when the student athletes are back on campus. And, I think that was one of the hardest parts is they couldn't come into our department, and we couldn't see them. We couldn't interact with them. I couldn't be in the locker room with them. Renee couldn't be in the locker room with the women's basketball team, things like that. I think we're all ready and energized that it's going to be back to seeing those student athletes come into the department, go to the academic center. Those types of things just get me really energized.
What are we looking for the fall?
I think from a departmental standpoint, we now have coaches spread out in different buildings, so we're going to be very intentional on how we communicate and make sure, you know, we're being very intentional, but we want to show off these buildings. We want to, you know, go back to, again, a more normalized game day experience. You know, no fans having to wear masks, things like that. We want to encourage everyone still to get vaccinated, including our student athletes and things like that, because there's still going to be some COVID things we've got to be cognizant of. But, you know, if anything, it's just, you know, can't wait for the 1st of August to get here when the women's soccer and volleyball teams come back and start preparing for their season.
One of the things that I want to make sure we get to mention, I guess it's one thing and a half, going into the fall, it's going to be nice to have fans back where they can come enjoy. And then we also have something kind of special going on with men's basketball, and that it's not really a preseason event, but early season event down in Orlando.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's the exciting part. I mean, fans will be back in. Volleyball will be probably the first to have the indoor fans. Obviously, the soccer's, you know, but for basketball, I mean, we're going to be sending out season ticket renewals and Bruin Club membership renewals and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Before you know it, I mean, we're gonna be tipping off on November 13th. You know, we haven't released the schedule yet, but we did announce the Orlando event, which was an event we were supposed to play last year, and it would have been an amazing event last year. So to get to go back the next year, that's something that we've had on our wish list for 10 years to get to play in one of those tournaments. And so I really do invite all of Bruin Nation to come down to Disney over Thanksgiving to watch some really good basketball. There's some quality teams in that field. We're gonna have to play really well. Our men, I think at that point, you know, we're gonna get a lot of preseason top 25 votes and recognition. So, you know, we're not gonna sneak up on anybody in that tournament and really all season. And so that'll be a great, you know, a test to see what we're made of. So in Bart Brooks, again, schedule hadn't been released, but when you see it, it is tough, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see our Bruins compete against some really top-notch teams.
Oh, Scott, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Thank you, Rich. Enjoy it as always.
This is Rich Tyner. That's Scott Corley. It's the Corley Quarterly, presented by First Bank. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.